Welcome back. So if you guys remember last lesson, I kind of needed an actual location inside my repository right here, and I went and I created a new one from scratch. Now, couldn't it have been neat if I could just reuse my test helpers? And the answer is yes. I want to kind of start using my test helpers across all my different test projects. So I'm going to actually build an entire test helper library now. And let's just start out by getting these guys from the adapter tests, from primary driver adapters. We're going to start by moving those into this new test helper library that I'm going to build on my own, right? And it's really not that complex. It's just doing what we already did, but just getting it out of the individual test projects and into kind of a global shared test project that I can then use across all these different things. Now you can also be more fine-grained and start saying, I only want the service test to be in the service test helpers, the location test in a location test helper and stuff like that. But it'll just be, in my mind, too hard to kind of manage that. I just want it all in one place so I have access to everything from there. That's my choice, luckily. So let's start looking at that and how we do it. Now, first of all, I just created a basic class library right here of .NET Core, Tree 1, and also I added a couple of solution folders to put these different projects in here. Now, I of course added these folders because I know that later on as this grows, I'll get an owner test helper, I'll get an owner validator, I'll get an owner service, or at least I'll get some kind of generic way to handle these. So that's why I kind of need the different areas down here. Now let's start moving them. Now, first of all, what you'll notice is as soon as I start moving this, I'll start having some issues because this project right here is a complete blank project I just created. And of course that doesn't know about the entity package. So I'll start that dependency and add that down here as a reference. I need the entity package, and let's just add that. Now I should be able to know that, and now the test helper works again. Now I'll move the second one up here. That's the service test helper. I'll move that down to the service package. And later on, we can always make everything more generic if we want to. Now notice that starts complaining. It doesn't know about the project of the fluent assertion. It doesn't know about the primary adapter. So I need some more packages for this. So let's start with a reference, and let's just have a look. We need reference for the infrastructure ports. Let's just find that one. It's right here. We need reference for the primary adapters. That's this guy. And then the ports. Now, nothing of this is a surprise. I expected to need them all, so let's just add them. And then we need mock. So I need to add a couple of NuGet packages as well. Mock and fluent assertion. Let's add the mock framework. That's available right here. I'll just add that one. And then we'll find fluent assertion. And again, take this as a recap. It's nice that you guys know a little bit about how you can add and manage all these projects right here. Another thing you'll notice is the small squiggly line right here. That's because I have wrong namespace. Let's just go and fix that. There we go, now it's services, and it also did all the imports that we needed. So we're pretty much golden here with this class as well. Let's go and do the next one. So this guy's okay. Now notice the same problem is probably in here with the namespace. Let's try and have a look. Now again, you'll notice the namespace is wrong right now. So let's go and fix it. Boink, there we go. Now that's also the right namespace. Sweet. And of course it also updated the namespace for the service test helper, so that also works now. The final one I want to move is the repository validator. This guy right here, let's go to it, there it is. I'm going to move that guy as well. Put that into the validators, yoink, there we go. And now we'll of course also have some problems with this guy. And let's just start at the beginning. First of all, let's just go and rename this guy to the right name. Now notice it's just the namespace. Right now it's at the old namespace called primary driver adapters helpers, but now we're moving it to this new namespace called Inotech test helpers under the folder validators. So let's just move it. There we go and save that. Now we still have issues of course because this new project needs to of course be imported now and have a reference for this project. So let's just add it in there. The new test project called helpers. I'll just add that one and I'll say add. And there we go. Now everything should be good again, except that we need to kind of change this new package that we used. So now it's not called location service test helper, it's now in a new namespace. So we'll add that. And I know this might seem pretty annoying, and of course it is, because I should have fixed this before we even started. But again, I'm like, I want to show you guys the flow of refactoring, the flow of going back and forth, learning, understanding, and trying to kind of make the best solution from everything that I'm doing, right? So now everything seems to run again, and of course the final thing I need to do is kind of do a test to make sure that everything still runs as expected. Whoops, it seems there was a downgrade between two adapter test and the test helpers, and that's because I still have, if I go to manage NuGet packages, you'll see that right now I'm using the mock framework in here as well, but the mock framework here has actually been updated to this version since last time I made a video. So let's just upgrade it to the new version. Shouldn't be any problem at all. There we go. Now it's okay, and let's just rerun the unit test. Now this is one of the errors that I'm talking about. This error would have been probably a big thing if I kind of just did a commit. Now it would start failing, right? But a very simple test like this just helped me figure out that there was a wrong version right there. And it even ran as soon as I even tried to restart anything. It just, boom, I got it right away, the information. Sweet. So now we have that available, and that pretty much means the final step for me is that I can now also add a reference for this guy and go and get access to the test helpers here as well. So now I have a test helper that I can reuse, and that means that this test in here can now actually go and get the location from that test helper. So let's go and make a reference for the test helper first. We can even again make it read-only to say that should never be changed. So now that that helper is available, we can go and use that helper to kind of go and create a location right here. That's default. So I'll say helper.validLocation. There we go. That's it for this lesson. I know that was kind of a long lesson, and I just wanted again to give you guys a quick introduction to how we can actually start reusing our helpers, because later on that just makes sense. So see you next time. Have fun.